Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk today about some events. I've only got a few minutes, as Edith has just told you, that have molded my business thinking. So I'll give you a bit of my background. I came to the United Kingdom in 1968 to take 3 A-levels at a school in Kent called King's Canterbury. Before that, I'd been educated in India. My parents were diplomats. They obviously traveled all around the world. I was born in Australia. I lived in India, Mauritius, Afghanistan, Czechoslovakia, Holland, and Laos. To top it all, I even married an airline air hostess. All right. My first job, well, this was selling life assurance in council estates in 1974. Before long, about 6 weeks, I became the top salesman. Now, it's quite nerve-wracking when you're knocking on a door and you don't know who's going to come out on the other side. So let me tell you, but it was nice. I made some money, and at least I realized 2 things. One, I didn't have to depend on my parents supporting me because I could make a living. And 2, sales is a line job. And by that I mean, without sales, you can't have human resources, legal, accounts, back office. If you don't have sales, you don't have a company. In the States, if you're not a salesman in a growing organization, you can never reach managing director or CEO. Make sure that sales are covered in anything you run. Well, in 1979, old Labour was in power. The lowest tax rate was 40%, but after you'd paid the 10% national insurance, you actually took home half your salary that you earned. So I thought, this is a bit too much. I mean, I was earning £7,250 at IBM, and I was taking home half that. It was really meagerly. So I decided that I must start a business, and travel came along. I mean, I thought that if I started a business, I could perhaps expense the other half, and thus I would double my salary of living. You know, this is how you start. I wasn't an accountant. If I'd been an accountant, I would have said, no, I can't do this, I can't do that. So never have done anything. Sorry to the accountants. Well, so travel came along. The 3 key areas that I focused on were cash management, as we didn't have any cash. So we were borrowing and paying back over a period of time. Travel, of course, great, because you get a month's float. So you pay the airlines after a month. That's good. Sales, as I just mentioned, and strategy. I'll give you 2 or 3 examples of what I saw when I went into the travel business. We looked at our Asian peers, our Asian travel agents. They were selling to the Asian community. And there were greengrocers in Southall who were doing this, and they were going down to 50 pence an air ticket. And actually, people told me, you are so stupid going to travel. I mean, look at the margins. And I said, God, I made a mistake here. But no. I looked at the market. They were selling to Asians who wanted to travel Bangladesh Biman, PIA, Air India, Aeroflot, you know, and those type of airlines going to the Asian subcontinent. The other 98% of the market were actually using British Airways, Lufthansa, Air France, Pan Am, TWA, etc., and going to the rest of the world. And they were allowing travel agents a £20 margin rather than 50p. So we decided that we would completely switch and just sell to the other 98% of the population. After all, it was a much bigger market. I'm moving fast forward here to the internet. It wasn't a big gamble at all. The US were 3 years ahead of us. Us means the UK, us means Europe. And they were going gangbusters. You know, there's so much money being made by travel agents who are on the internet, and airlines for that matter, in the States, that it wasn't a gamble at all. I found out a German company that had the technology. We bought it. We established the first UK interactive website here in 96, which was like 1993 in US terms. You know, we're so backwards. And we had an initial public offering in 1999. We raised $61 million then, and I think we raised another $45 million in July 2000. It was boom time. I didn't tell you this, but I used to run an airline in 12 countries. I was the GSA of Royal Nepal Airlines. It was a small airline that used to come to Europe. And so I was marketing and selling in 12 countries. So I knew the best travel agents to go for, to buy, when I got this money. And I set up 12 fabulous organizations, in my mind anyway, in these countries. I moved the back office to India on a cost arbitrage because we had the money, we could do it. And I expanded my market reach to 350 million in the 12 countries from 60 million in the UK. Very important. The same 98%, 2% in the UK, the same thing goes for Europe. Okay? And the second thing I did with the money was hire the brightest people that I could find. Much better than me, because I had the money. They knew what to do in accounts and legal and back office and HR, you name it. They knew in marketing. Some of them blew up, but I wasn't looking at the travel industry. I was looking at the whole universe to hire from, and we did. Now, that was in 99, 2000. I'm going fast forward now. What do we sell? We made a conscious decision in July 2004 to sell because our technology advantage was being eroded. There are lots of new technologies coming. The Americans were coming over in droves, etc. Our growth rate was going down because every travel agent was going on the internet. So obviously we were not getting as many people. And the effect on valuations. Now, in 2000, our sales were $100 million, and our valuation was $700 million, our market capitalization. And in 2004, our sales were $1 billion, the effect of the internet. Our valuation, we sold at $471 million. So if we carried on, this might have gone to $1.5 billion, the sales, but the valuation would have gone down to $300 million. So it's always good to, know when to sell. Not, oh, it's such a great golden egg that comes every year. Why should I sell? You must realize where you are. The Asian advantage. I thought, I better mention something here. The first generation immigrants are always hardworking. This is the case with the US, with the UK, with anywhere. The second generation a bit less so, the third generation assimilate and are the same. I mean, this is my view. Yeah. I think immigrant families inculcate the value of education taught locally a lot more than the locals. They're usually embarrassed to go on the dole, to take the social security net, and thus they try harder. Well, I exchanged the shares I had in the company for cash. I have a 10-year non-compete, so I can't be in travel, right? So what do I do with this cash? The best thing I can do with this cash is back the brightest managers that I can find. I found 2 already, and I'm building businesses around them, and we're investing here and there. And the places that I'm focusing on are Romania, India, Switzerland, and the UK. Thank you very much.